In this video you will learn what is the difference between project leader and project manager, what are the benefits of project leadership, how to be an effective project leader, theories and approaches to leadership, words of wisdom. If everything seems to be going well, you obviously don't know what's going on. The difference between project leader and project manager. Even though it is true that every good project manager is a competent leader as well, and while the two functions are often embodied in the same individual, project leaders and project managers have distinct spheres of influence. Some project parts are managed, while others are led. However, both are important to the success of any company operation. Managers are theoretically responsible for the pragmatic components of a project. They must coordinate resources in order to get the best possible outcomes while meeting the needs of the stakeholders. To accomplish that, they must prioritize work completion, meet deadlines, and produce quantifiable outcomes. Putting it another way, managers must be a little scientifically minded while still focusing on how to accomplish things. To put it plainly, the processes on which managers depend are valuable instruments, but their scope is restricted. No checklist has ever been successful in motivating teams. Similarly, no organizational method could possibly explain a strategy's core vision. As a result, according to a recent theory, the fundamental cause of failed projects is insufficient project management leadership. Leaders are critical to the development of a project as they can convert visions into realities, settle rising disputes, and create teams out of human resources. They contribute to the creation of a productive atmosphere in which everyone is encouraged to reach peak performance. To put it another way, leaders use an entirely distinct set of abilities to supplement the administrative aspects of project execution. Without their skills to inspire followers and unify the team behind a common goal, the dry matter of processes would quickly demotivate members, leading to project failure or bad performance. Who is a project leader? A project leader is the person that leads others and ensures that the project is completed. The project leader gets involved with the team, inspiring them, attending to their needs, and fostering a pleasant and effective work environment. Among their key roles are participating in discussions with other leaders, creating progress updates for projects they're working on, maintain the team's focus on the project and ensure it's on track to meet its objectives. Product prototype testing. Who is a project manager? A project manager is a trained professional that is in charge of overseeing a project and keeping to deadlines. The project manager is in charge of all tactical project tasks. Instead of inspiring the team, they are in charge of maintaining the organization. Their main duties include things like aiding in the definition of the project's objectives, goals, and deliverables, maintaining the project's budget, paperwork, and personnel, and ensuring that everyone has a job to perform in the project, delivering updates on a project status and any potential challenges, taking care of problems when they come up, identifying potential risks, and making strategies for them if they do, progress reporting and documentation to keep the team and important stakeholders informed, performing quality control checks on the finished product. The distinctions between project leaders and project managers. Some people treat both terms as the same. A project leader, in truth, has greater influence over a project and more latitude to experiment with different management techniques than a project manager. The viewpoints vary in significant yet minor ways. The following are the primary distinctions between project leadership versus project management. Project managers are coordinators, but project leaders are visionaries. Project managers are primarily concerned with project coordination. Project leaders, in contrast, are accountable for the project's overall success and vision. Their vision should lead the rest of the staff in terms of what to do and how to accomplish it. Project managers are project-focused, but project leaders are people-focused. Project managers are in charge of the approaches that result in a successful project. Their primary responsibility is guaranteeing that the team fulfills its goals on schedule and on budget. Project leaders concentrate on project management while motivating people who work with them to realize their vision. Project managers carry out the tasks, while project leaders think. Project managers know exactly what they have to accomplish. To guarantee that deadlines are reached, project managers oversee the budget, personnel, and duties of team members. While project leaders monitor the performance of the team too, their aim is to encourage and help produce fresh ideas in order to accomplish objectives. Management skills versus leadership skills. First and foremost, it is critical to recognize that leadership and management abilities are required for the project to be completed effectively. Even while it may seem that this section undervalues management strength, this is not true. Leadership abilities may seem more advanced, but a down-to-earth attitude is often required in the day-to-day operations of the project. For instance, Think short to mid-range may seem devalued in comparison to leaders' long-term thinking, yet it really entails much needed attention on approaching deadlines and associated deliverables. Similarly, control may have negative connotations when contrasted to inspiring, yet in other circumstances, it's an essential organizational tool. Having said that, management and leadership qualities are fundamentally different. A strong emphasis on management will need the use of abilities such as forecasting and planning, risk evaluation, budgeting, human resource administration, making decisions. Project leaders or managers with good leadership qualities should have a somewhat distinct set of talents, including negotiation, communication, ability to resolve conflicts, creating a team, ability to influence, political and cultural consciousness. Both sets of talents are necessary to fulfill stated goals throughout the project lifecycle. Project managers should have good leadership abilities while also being aware of their profession's more technical features. Unfortunately, over 97% of company projects struggle due to an overemphasis on logical aspects and very little leadership. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. On my website, projectmanageric.com, you can get the free templates for your project management needs as well as training based on my 544-page book Project Management for Managers, Program and Project Portfolio Management in Banking. Please see the details below in the description. Benefits of project leadership. Project leadership is a necessary quality for guiding the project to a proper conclusion. Leadership in a project setting, similar to leadership in other business areas, requires the demonstration of a variety of skills and behaviors. Leadership is essential for guaranteeing the success of your initiatives, from team direction to project governance. Creating the vision and encouraging the team to collaborate in order to accomplish it is a key component of leadership, as you can see in the context of a project. Delivering any project requires a team effort, and although some teams work sans a visible leader, in business it is more customary for someone to take the leadership position, leading and directing the team toward their objectives. In practical terms, the real consequence of effective leadership would be reflected in outcomes such as project members' productivity has increased, workplace success, powerful relationships within the team, a unified and shared vision. Admittedly, none of the above advantages is a goal in and of itself. The true benefit of effective leadership must be seen in quantifiable achievements, improved performance, and desirable outcomes. Nonetheless, the advantages stated tend to reflect a more solidly constructed road to the general success of a company venture. For instance, if a considerable burden is imposed on the backs of project members without the same vision, performance would most certainly suffer. On the other hand, persuade a collection of people that they must all work diligently to achieve mutually beneficial goals, and it's reasonably likely that they will attempt to outdo themselves. That is a project leader's actual power. How to be an effective project leader. Increase your awareness of your organization. The degree of authority and influence possessed by a project leader is influenced by the structure, culture, and size of the organization. Some industries, such as it, are strongly project-driven. Others, on the other hand, may only utilize projects on an as-needed basis. The role, authority, budget management, availability of resources, and access to workers of a project leader will be influenced by organizational variables. Be an efficient planner. A key project leadership skill is developing an initial plan and scope for your project, having it signed off by project stakeholders, and sustaining it throughout the project. This is what most people think of when it comes to project management. This planning process may make use of a variety of tools and strategies. Be the team leader. The vision is established by the leader. They motivate others around them. Someone with outstanding project leadership abilities fosters team agreement and togetherness while also managing day-to-day team operations. Project team leadership entails establishing an atmosphere in which everyone can thrive. People are alert to the project culture which engulfs them. Stakeholders wish to take part in the project as they believe you will complete the task while also creating a nice working environment. Learn how to encourage others. You must keep the project participants motivated. This may include inspiring their supervisors as well, in case they deal with other obligations beyond the project. Leaders inspire people to act even if they are not technically in charge. As the project leader, you figure out what enables other team members to feel like they're doing their all, and you do your best to deliver it to them. Everyone is driven differently, and a person's motivation may shift over time. Great leaders realize these distinctions and enable their employees to accomplish their best by fostering a healthy work environment. Keep your resources organized. Organizing resources to enable your plan is critical to its execution. As stated in the beginning, projects often have numerous moving pieces, one of which is people. People take time off or exit the organization, devices malfunction, software packages expire, and so on, all of which may derail even the best laid plans. Be a versatile communicator. One of the most important skills of project management is communication. Leaders must be able to communicate effectively since so much of their job includes collaboration with others. If you can't communicate, you can't cooperate properly. Leaders may communicate ideas to people and groups in person, over the phone, or through web conferencing. They may also put their thoughts down on paper to ensure that the message is disseminated and absorbed. Communication is more than just passing on messages and conversing with people. Knowing how to listen, as Jared Jackson explains in Forbes, is just as crucial. Communication is one of the most important characteristics of a project manager, particularly in a leadership capacity. Effective communication with project participants, other stakeholders, and other relevant parties inside or outside of the organization is essential. This is commonly accomplished via the use of project management tools. The idea is to convey the correct information to the right people in the proper format and at the right time. A project participant, for example, may need significantly more specific information compared to a high-level sponsor of the project. Know how to resolve conflicts. When you introduce something new or make a change to something, conflict is unavoidable. Effective leaders understand how to use conflict constructively since the finest answers are found when ideas are contested. Teams may benefit from conflict because it enables all opinions to be out there and different points of view to be presented. Often, this leads to a better approach and more successful project outcomes. To be able to recognize and address conflict before it becomes a problem for the team, leaders must be well versed in conflict resolution techniques. The Thomas Kuhlman Conflict Mode tool provides useful information on how to handle conflict. Possessing a variety of conflict resolution techniques is one of the key fundamental abilities for project managers. Be a better problem solver. Even the simplest initiatives have problems. Gather the information, assess your alternatives, and make a decision. Above everything, maintain your composure and logic. Is it possible to tackle the issue inside the primary project team? If scope shift is causing the difficulty, you may need to engage a project stakeholder. Empowering the project team and the larger stakeholder group to participate in developing solutions is part of fostering a healthy working culture. That entails eliminating impediments so that each team member may fulfill their work and contribute new ideas instead of worrying about anything getting in the way. Empowering leaders also drive decisions to the lowest level possible down the hierarchy, allowing specialists to make decisions on the solutions required to keep the project going ahead. Theories and approaches to leadership. There is no one style to leadership, nor is there a particular kind of individual that is a great leader. According to project leadership theory, a great leader is a mix of traits and the capacity to adapt to diverse conditions. Leadership is something you can learn, and you can enhance your capabilities by learning about leadership ideas in management. The three basic families of leadership theory that apply to project delivery are trait theories, behavioral theories, situational theories. Trait theories. The strengths of the project manager are related by trait theories. This perspective on leadership identifies the abilities and attributes that are beneficial while leading a team. Resilience, honesty, trustworthiness, tenacity, and so on are examples. There was a train of thinking that certain characteristics were intrinsic and you have to be born with them. Fortunately, the notion is no longer present in leadership conceptions and theories. We know that a person may take actions to become more resilient or assertive, or to cultivate any other sort of leadership attribute. Behavioral theories. Behavioral leadership theories are concerned with what a leader does. Some CEOs are dictatorial and make decisions without consulting their staff. Others are more collaborative, inviting feedback and empowering their employees. Either strategy is without fault, as is any combination of the two. There's a time and place for every style. You wouldn't imagine a battlefield commander ordering a huddle so the squad could discuss what to do, would you? In such cases, a choice must be taken swiftly. That dictatorial attitude, however, would not work when discussing with a group of residents about constructing a new airport near their houses. A collaborative, receptive leadership style would better engage the community. Situational theories. Situational leadership refers to the process of deciding which leadership style to employ in any given scenario. These leadership methods are often known as contingency theories. They analyze whether it is more effective to use a task-based or a people-based approach. They also take into account the individuals you lead. What type of encouragement and support do they require? A leader tailors their style of leadership to the demands of the team as well as the business environment and project circumstances. A person who has never handled a certain work before will require more hands-on assistance from the team leader compared to someone who is competent in completing that activity. Click on the video card on the right to understand servant leadership. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. On my website, projectmanagerik.com, you can get the free templates for your project management needs as well as training based on my 544-page book Project Management for Managers. Program and project portfolio management in banking translated into 9 languages and counting. Please see the details below in the description and where to buy my book and what is the best program and project management software, PPM.